Welcome to the Michele Roy Show.
Hello and welcome to another Michele Roy Show. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. I'm just giving a little update right now on this podcast, and I just want to bring you into my journey. I suppose that's one of the main reasons why I'm having a podcast, so I can share my journey, the lessons I've learned, and also the different things that has helped me navigate chronic pain and invisible illness. So I thank you for your time. Please take a little moment right now to just breathe into the moment and be here. So my friends, recently, last couple of days, I've been back in and out of hospital. And one of the things that got me thinking of this journey, and I'm sure if you're familiar with chronic pain or if you know someone that is, it's really difficult to not have answers, right? For me, I always want to know what's happening, and I'm trying to be as open as possible and sharing my stories, so hopefully that can help you as well, but also the lessons that I'm learning. My mind likes to know the answers to the problems right away. I don't really have that kind of patient person. I'm not that at all. I'm very much impulsive in a way. I really like to know all the details, very analytical in a way, the way I think, my mindset. But at the same time, when it comes to health and actually getting answers to a lot of the problems that we're facing, it's not really straightforward. So recently I've been feeling my body a little bit off. Now, I live with chronic pain, right? I live with fibromyalgia, with trigeminal neuralgia, and with Lyme's. So as it is, that's already complex in itself. And I've learned to listen to my body and do the best I can to regulate my symptoms and manage them as best I can without medication, aside from my herbal antibiotics, right? However, the past few days I've been feeling off in a way, and I've been having lots of chest pains and stabbing in my heart. So that was a little bit more of a concern that needed to be taken seriously. I didn't expect to back at the hospital or, call in and an ambulance coming to my home. I was just like, no, leave me here. And it was challenging. I have to be honest. It was challenging to be in the hospital again, especially because it was, by the time I got to the hospital, it was like 2 a.m. And the A&E was so busy. You would think that Sunday people wouldn't be there, but yes, there was a lot of people. Doctors seemed to be really overwhelmed, understaffed, and it was just one of those things about waiting. But an interesting thing was that a few years ago when I had another accident, just tug of war, I actually write about the story in my book, I was in the same area, which is Zone A at the hospital. I was this time placed in a chair because they didn't have any trolleys, and I was right next again to where all the doctors and nurses are, which is like the staff base, let's say. And I was just using that time to think and bring myself back to the other times that I was in the hospital before. And even seeing that, it was just like right next to it. It's just a different shift. And the room that I was assessed the last time I was there. But just trying to get myself to be thankful for the care I received the last time I was there, for the different things that I got to learn through that. Even though I was living in denial for most of the time with pain, it was interesting to hear the different patients that were talking to the doctors and the doctors examining them. I'm always quite curious about people anyway, so I'm interested in what's going on in people's lives, and it's a distraction mechanism for me, so I'm very honest about that. Especially when you have nothing to do and you're in a chair in the middle of the night and your body's in a lot of pain and you're having all sorts of different parts of you screaming at you that all you want to do is rest, sleep, and none of that's happening. So aside from my meditation and prayer, I kind of put pieces of puzzles together. I try to see who the patients are when they're calling people's name. I try to put the stories. And one of the things that caught my attention when I was at the hospital was one other patient that the doctor was seeing, and they had fractured their finger, and the doctor was telling them about taking time off, right, 4 to 6 weeks without using it and all that. And the person was like, "What? That's so much time." And it reminded me that I was the same way when I injured my back the last time I was in the hospital. Now, this is a good few years ago. I was just like, there's no way I'm stopping. just just like, hello, there's no way. But that denial that we experience, I don't know if that happens with you as well. Kind of like, no, 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 this is not part of the plan, so I can't take time off. And it wasn't just that person, it was a few people that through the night, I was there for 9 hours, I got to hear the different stories. And it just got me thinking, and in my own journey, am I listening to my body as I should? Even though I've learned all these lessons, there's still room to improve, because my old pattern of let's just keep going and trying to push through this comes back. But that's not the best. I mean, I ended up in A&E for a reason. And it's that little reminder again about going slow, about actually taking time for myself. And by recording this and talking to you, I'm reminding myself about it. I'm sharing what I'm going through, hopefully as a reminder for you as well, if you're in the same predicament as me, and to find it that's it's easy just to push through. But anyway, how do you manage all of that time in the hospital sitting, which was really difficult because my back was killing me. I'm moving from all sides, but breathing, even though my breathing has been shallow, I haven't been able to do my deep breaths because of feeling constriction and just the extra pain. I was still able to tap into that. I was still able to journal right there at the hospital, because that's something that takes my mind off what's going on. And I was still able to pray for all the people that were around me. And even though I might not know what they were going through, I prayed for the doctors, for the nurses, for each of the healthcare assistants that were there, and the different people. And those things help me, because then I'm not really just thinking about what my problems are, what my pain levels are, because I hate talking about that. But it is unsettling to have these questions unanswered, and then having to wait and not know how long it would take. I was very, very privileged that I do know a consultant in the hospital, and in the morning I just got a little reminder, like, just text him, Sometimes you have to ask for help. So I just asked if he was around, and he right away came. Well, he finished the meetings, but pretty much right away came down to see me, and after that I was seen quite quickly. So I was really, really happy for that. And it just shows that sometimes when you need to reach out to others and ask for help, it can't help you. I know for me, sometimes my pride gets in the way, and I'm like, oh, why bother so and so, because of my situation. But another part of my experience this time around is that I have to continue advocating for myself, because I look fine. My symptoms are hard to diagnose for sure because of the underlying conditions that I face. And there's so many people that have different ailments, and it's not straightforward. Tests can show a little bit off here, or everything else looks fine, and yet something is missing, So having to be able to explain as succinct as I can for that 1 or 2 minutes, right? Because they don't really have much time, my situation and why I'm there. Because I avoid hospitals like the plague. I absolutely hate having to go to, I don't know who likes, but anyway, I definitely hate it. And it's just because it's a stressful situation. You can't go to sleep, and noises and beep beeps going off, and there's just so much happening. But all along, those are the little tools that I had to pull out for myself, how to keep myself calm, how to navigate being exhausted, how to allow myself to just be grateful, to speak up for myself, to talk to the doctors and respectfully asking them what their thoughts are, different situations that could possibly be. Could it just be, that this is my Lyme's? That's a little bit more aggravated right now that's causing these things? What other options are there? And I still don't have all the answers. I was back in another hospital this morning and hoping that I was going to find all my my answers today. And unfortunately, I had high expectations. Maybe I shouldn't have gone with such high expectations, but I'm still referred for more tests and a Holter monitor, and those things take time. So I had to get back to myself and show myself that love and kindness again. It's okay to not know. It's okay, Michele. It's okay to be where you are right now. And you're going to find the solutions that you need by just being calm, right? By allowing the sun to touch my face today, just taking the breaths, listening to the birds as I was walking in the grass, and just being present. And I suppose that's how I'm going to continue. That's the best way I can. And I hope soon rather than later I'll get some answers. But in any case, trusting, really trusting, letting go and surrendering to the process. And this is my lesson, and this is going to be something I'm going to continue learning all along the way. But my friend, I just wanted to give you this little update. I know I'm not in the highest of mood right now. I'm not feeling the best, but I want to keep the promise I made for myself. I want to continue sharing my story, and in hopes that you can share your story too. Whatever you're facing right now, please know you're not alone. And may God bless and keep you. Share this with other people. Let me know how you think, what you feel, and what do you do when you're in the hospital, and how do you get yourself to just find the peace and patience that you need. I would love to hear from you. May God bless and keep you. Until next week.
This was the Michele Roy Show.